that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Hey there, patriots. Welcome back to American Mindset, the channel where we stand up for faith, family, and freedom. Today, we're diving into a powerful exchange between Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana and Kristi Noem, who laid it all out about the chaos at our southern border under Biden's administration. Folks, if you care about the future of this country, this is a conversation you need to hear. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's watch the video.
Well, I need a little help from a chair that respects the members of the committee. I'm sorry, Madam Chair. This is...
You pretty much secured the southern border, haven't you?
Yes, sir. The CBP,
and that upsets some of my colleagues, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. They say you've done it the wrong way, haven't they? Mm-hmm. Could you answer that?
Yes, sir. They do say that.
Do you think they're upset because you supposedly did it the wrong way, or you think they're upset that you did it at all?
I think they're upset that by President Trump enforcing the law, it happened so quickly and successfully.
Yeah. Now, when President Biden came into office, the first thing he did was get rid of all of the things we were doing to stop people from coming into our country illegally, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, it was like The Price is Right. Come on down. Except he said, come on in. And most of my Democratic colleagues went along with that, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
In fact, they cheered him on, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
How many people do you think President Biden let into our country illegally? Just give me a ballpark figure.
Sir, we don't know for certain, but we believe it could be upwards to 20 million people that are illegally in this country.
So that's like adding 10 Nebraskas to our country, isn't it?
That's correct.
Why do you think President Biden and my Democratic colleagues did that? Do you think they believe in open borders?
I think they believed in open borders and letting people come into this country that would affect our society and criminals. Those other countries emptying out the worst of the worst, their mental institutions, their prisons came in here and jeopardized, and known terrorists.
Well, only one or two circumstances are possible, it seems to me. Either President Biden and the Democrats who supported him believe in open borders, or the people that President Biden put in charge of securing the border, you wouldn't trust to run a snowball stand. Right?
That is correct.
So nobody is that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate parole status.
Do you think that President Biden and some of my Democratic colleagues, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, Madam Secretary, thought of these foreign nationals in our country illegally as potential new voters?
I do, sir.
Okay. If you're an ordinary American and you oppose illegal immigration, but you support legal immigration, does that make you a racist?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. It just means that you believe there should be a rule of law, and that's what America was built on.
And that's what you've been enforcing, right?
Exactly. We have been following the Constitution and the rule of law in this country.
And I want to be sure I understand, because there's been a lot of confusing testimony here. You've secured the border, have you not?
This administration has, yes, sir.
And some of my colleagues are upset with you.
Yes, sir.
And they say you did it wrong.
Yes, sir.
And do you agree with me that what they're really upset about is that you did it at all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to ask you a last question about our federal judiciary. I've said repeatedly that all of us has a moral and a civic obligation to follow federal orders, and I stand by that. But there have been a lot of national injunctions, universal injunctions issued to try to stop you from doing your job. Where were these judges when people were breaking the law and coming into our country illegally? Were any of them speaking up and issuing national injunctions against the Democrats?
I don't believe I can be specific about every single judge, but these judges that now are trying to stop us from enforcing our laws, I don't believe or recall them.
Can you
being
think,
vocal then.
Madam Secretary, of one single solitary federal judge who, when President Biden and my Democratic colleagues, not all of them, but many of them,
Gentleman's time has expired.
Secretary or Senator Murray went on over about 2 minutes, so I'm going to take a minute.
Senator Van
Well, if
Hollen
you
just got
can-
shut down.
Yes,
right
if
on
you
the
can,
zeros.
if you can finish your question.
Can you recall one single solitary federal judge when President Biden and my Democratic colleagues were letting 20 million people come into the country illegally?
I don't recall.
Can you think of one
you.
single solitary judge
you.
that
This is more
issued
than-
national
Thank you.
injunctions
This is more than
to
one
stop
question.
them?
No, I can't recall
I
one.
can't either. If there weren't
you,
for
Senator
double
Kennedy.
standards
Madam
around
Chair,
here,
Okay.
Madam
there
And
wouldn't
so
be any
Senator Peters-
standards at all, Madam Secretary.
Thank you.
Committee,
Thank
Madam
you,
Chair.
Senator Kennedy.
I'd-
Senator Peters.
Madam, let me just say, let's apply the rules fairly. Senator Van Hollen was asking tough questions, but was shut down pretty immediately when his time was expired. Can we at least have a commitment, Madam Chair, that senators on this committee will be allowed to submit questions for the record,
Absolutely.
and that you will
Yes.
Absolutely.
ask the secretary to answer those
There it
questions?
is, folks. Straight to the point. Secure the southern border. That's what the Trump administration did. They enforced the law, they followed the Constitution, and they actually put America first. And what happened? Democrats got upset. Not because we did it the wrong way. Oh no. But because we did it all. Think about that for a second. I think they're upset that by President Trump enforcing the law, it happened so quickly and successfully. Boom. There it is. Success. That's what the left can't stand, folks. They hate seeing conservative policies work. Because every time we secure the border, protect jobs, and uphold the rule of law, it proves their open border, big government agenda is a complete failure. They don't want to admit that Trump had the winning formula: enforce the law, secure the border, and protect American citizens. When President Biden came into office, the first thing he did was get rid of all the things we were doing to stop people from coming into our country illegally. Exactly. President Biden didn't waste a second. He dismantled every policy that was keeping our border secure. It's like he rolled out the red carpet and said, "Come on in." And let's be honest, folks, it wasn't just Biden. The entire Democratic Party cheered him on. They stood there clapping while millions of people poured into this country illegally. How is that putting America first? It's not. It never has been. 20 million. That's like adding 10 states the size of Nebraska to this country. And here's the kicker. These aren't just people looking for a better life. According to Noem, we're talking about criminals, people released from foreign prisons, and even known terrorists. This isn't immigration. It's an invasion. And Biden and his buddies in Congress have opened the floodgates. I mean, Kennedy nailed it right there. It's one or the other, folks. Either they're completely incompetent, or they want open borders. And let's be real, it's the second one. They believe in open borders because they know it changes the makeup of this country. They want to import millions of people who will depend on the government and vote Democrat. It's all about power. Always has been. Let me make this crystal clear. Opposing illegal immigration does not make you a racist. It makes you a patriot. You can support legal immigration, love this country, and still demand that people follow the law. That's what America is all about, the rule of law. But the left doesn't want you to believe that. They want to shame you into silence by throwing out words like racist and bigot. Don't fall for it. Loving your country isn't hate. It's pride, and it's what makes America great. Where were these judges when people were breaking the law and coming into our country illegally? Exactly. Where were the judges when Biden was letting millions of people stream into this country? Where were the national injunctions to stop his lawlessness? Nowhere to be found. But the second we try to enforce the law, they're all over us. This is what we mean when we talk about double standards. One set of rules for them, and another for us. Patriots, this is why we need to wake up. Our country is being sold out by politicians who care more about power than protecting our borders, our jobs, and our families. We need to stand up, speak out, and demand accountability. We need leaders who will put America first, just like Trump did. So here's what I need from you. Share this video, talk to your friends and family, and make your voices heard. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the American Mindset movement. Together, we can take this country back. God bless you. God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. I'll see you next time.